皆さんこんにちは。今日私はステークルのショーン・グランと申します。よろしくお願いします。今私がジョイス・ライスさんにインタビューしています。元気ですか？
はい、元気です。
So yeah, this is your second time to London, isn't it? How has it been so far? Well, I guess you haven't spent very long here yet, have you?
Well, first of all, I think we need to acknowledge the fact that your Japanese is perfect.
優しい。
That's really good. How do you know Japanese?
私が石川県3年間に住みました。来年まで。
Wow, for what?
英語の教師だった。ちょっと同じだねから、ジョイさんも英語の教師ですね。
英語の教師? What does that mean?
It's like sensei, but apparently you're not supposed to say sensei as a sensei. It's kind of rude. So you're like, it's like teacher, but like English teacher. So 英語の教師.
What about my English teacher?
Oh no, but you also teach English to Japanese American students, don't you? Right, 3 times a week.
Yes, how did you know? Oh my gosh.
This is like a Narwhal moment right now. Yeah. So, you had your first. Thank you very much. You had your first show. I always want to do it all in Japanese, but I shouldn't.
Because I think you might know better.
Nah, I'm not that good. But yeah, you had your first show here in January 2017 as part of the Cozy Summit with Cozy Mag. Yeah, how has 2017 been for you since then?
2017 has been, I guess, a dream come true. I did the London show in January, and then, I was able to perform in Korea and also perform in Japan with Mind Design during his Asia tour, and those are things that I really aimed for. I really wanted to be able to perform outside of the US and really meet this other audience that I have that I only see through social media. So I wrote those down as goals that I wanted to accomplish. And then another thing I wrote down was being able to do a Europe tour, and here I am. So 2017 has been really amazing, and it's allowed me to keep aiming high for more things that I want to obtain.
Ricky, thank you for joining us here in Europe once again. Was that your first time performing in Japan in that way when you were with Mind Design earlier this year? Have you performed in Japan a lot or?
No, that was my first time performing in Japan. And it was a part of his Asia tour. So I did 2 shows with him, actually. And we did the songs, the few songs that we've created together. And then I opened up for him for one of the bigger shows at Visions. Yeah.
Visions, if you don't know, is the most famous hip hop club. So if you end up in Tokyo at any point, you're gonna end up in Shibuya and have a good time at Visions. I actually saw Mind Design there with Knowledge, L Sweatshirt, Peanut Butter Wolf, Egyptian Lover. The lineup was stacked for the Stones Throw 20th anniversary. What was that like performing in Japan? Because obviously you're half Japanese. Was that a strangely emotional thing? Were people there asking if you were Japanese? Did they realize? Or because for me, as a person that's not Japanese, just to declare that, living in Japan, especially as a non-white foreigner, there was a lot of curiosity around me, and a lot of people touching my hair, want to stroke my beard, and my students were crazy over kimochi, touching my beard and stuff. So what was that like for you? Because I guess that wasn't the first time you've been to Japan. No?
It wasn't.
Yeah. Have you been often or?
Yes, my mother is Japanese, and growing up, she really wanted to make sure that I knew the language and that I would really, I guess, have a great relationship with my family. So I would visit Japan once a year from being out of her womb to 18. So it was really nice being able to have family in Japan and be able to travel. I was very fortunate to do that. But I do relate to some of, I guess, the other sides of being Black and people looking at my hair and saying that it's basa basa. I don't know if you know that word.
I don't know that word. No.
Yeah, it's like dry, frizzy hair, but has a very negative connotation. And also, my mom is from a very small town in Japan.
Where's that?
So it's in Himeji, Hyogo, but the town is called Yamasaki.
Yeah.
And it's very small. Like, you don't see like non-Japanese people there really in the inaka, the countryside. So I remember people making fun of me, laughing at me, pointing at me, and my own cousin was a bit kind of embarrassed. We would walk his dog together, and whenever there were like young kids around, he would kind of hide. And so like that was kind of like, I guess, the memories that I had. But I mean, I didn't really let it bother me so much. Because growing up, in America, I was around a lot of half Black, half Japanese families. So there were people who looked like me, who went through the things that I've been through. And I don't know, I felt more so fortunate to have two parents, who come from different cultures. Yeah. So I really liked it. I liked that I knew like different kinds of food. I was very open to different things. So in a sense, yeah, I really had fun growing up. And performing in Japan was really fun because I studied abroad there. So a lot of my friends and like classmates came to the show, and it was just really cool. It was like 20 people, and it was a really nice reunion. And my mom also came, so she was up like until 6 a.m. with all of us backstage. And yeah, it was really nice. And because of Ringo, Mind Design, I've really been able to, I guess, attract like a really great following. And I really have a lot of appreciation for him because just the whole like Stones Throw scene, like all of that, I really wasn't familiar with it until I made music with him. And me even being on this tour, I really feel like it's because of the relationship that I have with him and the music that we've created. So a lot of the people that came to the show were mostly his fans, I think, but I think it was still like fans of mine too, because me and him have made music. And even like walking on the street, someone came up to me and like recognized me, and it was really strange because I've never experienced that in a foreign country. So overall, it was just really cool. Another like great experience. And I just love meeting all the people who listen to my music and who enjoy my music. And I like to hear that they either relate to it or it just makes them feel a certain type of way. Those are the things that I really like to hear, and mostly the reason why I like to do what I do.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, this interview hasn't gone in the direction I was planning at all, but I'm really enjoying it. I was going to talk about London, and I was like, actually, no, like, I mean, the Japan point is a good jump off because I have questions in that area anyway. I see you looking. It's personal. Himitsu dane. Yeah, so a couple points there. The EP that you dropped, did that release digitally? Did that release physically in Japan? Because it's kind of like a thing that like sometimes, even like releases that are only digital in America might get a physical release in Tower Records or something like that. Has that happened for you yet, or?
No. I was offered an opportunity to do a physical release, but it didn't work out.
Cool.
But initially I wanted to, I love memorabilia. I love physicals, mostly like vinyl, and I've done cassettes before. So I wanted to do a physical release of it, but at the time, and I mean now I'm an independent artist, and it's kind of difficult to do physical releases. Like financially, it's a lot. So I wasn't able to do that for Stay Around EP. But who knows? Like, yes, there are people who do that with Tower Records. Or other places, yes. So maybe like in the future, I can do that with the next project that I'm working on. And even then, I could still do it because people have responded very well to it. So either way, I'm sure if I ever decide to do it, people would still be excited about it. So it's something that I'm definitely thinking about.
I look forward to having one of your releases physically one day. Yeah, you talked about growing up around a lot of half black and half Japanese families. Was there a specific reason for that? Like, I mean, did you grow up in LA? I mean, no? Where did you grow up?
San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. Okay. Yeah. What state is that? Is it still Cal?
In California.
Okay, good.
3-hour drive.
Okay, yeah, because America's huge in that. But yeah, how did that work? Like, I mean, it's very natural to kind of like find communities that kind of fit your bill, fit your needs as well, naturally. But what do you think it is? I'm not really sure the question is here, but what do you think it is about? Like, is it because it's America and it's not really that hard to find people that had like those kind of mixes, or black and Japanese interracial couples? Like, people wouldn't necessarily expect that, like, here. Whereas in America, it might just be like, of course, there's going to be a community for that. Like, what is it about? Like, why or how? I don't know what I'm saying.
It's okay. No, it's fine. No, it's funny. A lot of people ask me that whenever I tell them, like, oh, like my best friend and manager, Jasmine, she's half black, half Japanese. Yeah. So a lot of people, they're just like, so there's this Japanese and black community. Like, what is that? People are always fascinated by it. But basically, I'm from San Diego, which is a military town. And my father served the military. He was in the Navy for 30 years. And he was stationed in Japan, and that's how he met my mother. And maybe at that time, that was like a common thing. Yeah. But so a lot of my mom's friends, I think were like, they're all friends, and they met like black military men. And at around the same time, they all happened to be stationed in San Diego. So I think that's one of the reasons why. And yeah, because San Diego is it's a military town. I don't know what it is, but there's like a lot of Japanese markets and restaurants. And so for my mom, for example, even though my dad was stationed all over the world, we never moved around with him because she wanted to be able to live in a place where she could have her Japanese markets and be around her community of people, or else she can't really survive. Or she, that's just not something she wants to settle for. So maybe those other families, those other women had the same needs, and maybe that's why. Also, I practice Buddhism, and it's like a Nichiren Buddhism, which is Japanese Buddhism. And so, I don't know, in San Diego, there were a lot of members, and that happens to be a lot of Japanese women too, and they had husbands who were black or even white too, but essentially like, this mixed biracial families. Yeah, interracial families. So those could be some of the reasons why. Cool. But when I was in school, I didn't really meet anyone who had the same background as me. Yeah. But except for my best friend who I met in middle school. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I've also heard that you want to record Japanese music.
I do want to.
So how's that going? Or
I mean, I haven't really indulged in it yet. I actually did do a song with this Japanese artist, Taichi Mukai. And
what's it called, sir? Asaga Kuremade.
Yes,
so
yes. Yes,
yeah. The morning comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that song with him, and I sang Japanese with him on that song. But my verse is in English. And so that's one thing that I'm working on. It's like, I can speak Japanese, but when it comes to writing a song, it's like a completely different thing, for sure. So yeah, it's definitely a goal of mine to do that. And I actually wanted to do that with me and Ringo and Kay Franklin's song Rocket Science. I wanted to do like a Japanese remix of it because so cool. Because it did so well in Japan. So something cool. So it's definitely like I'm brainstorming about it. And I want to be able to maybe find like a really good songwriter that I can collaborate with to do that. So it's in the works.
You're performing at the Jazz Cafe tonight. The Jazz Cafe is in Camden, and it's really close to a station called Camden Town. Last time I was there, I can't remember who I was seeing, but I took Camden Town to go home, and I saw your face on a poster it was a clothing ad campaign. Can you tell me about that?
So really quick, Camden Town, is that the train?
That's the station that's near.
Oh.
Yeah, but the whole area is Camden.
Oh.
Camden Town is just the name of the station that's right next to the Jazz Cafe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so I did a photo shoot with Nike. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
And they were doing the Forces Female campaign where they had the Air Force Ones, and their goal was to really have female musicians represent that campaign. So I was able to collaborate with drummer Shelby O'Neill, Camille, who plays bass, Anastasia, who's an amazing vocalist, and Lowleaf, who plays the harp, piano.
You did the stuff with Fresh Selects and
Yes, and is a great vocalist as well.
Yeah.
So we all did the photo shoot together, and just really, I guess, showed the connection of like having a strong life force is what keeps you going as an artist. And just promoting the Nike campaign and emphasizing like that kind of lifestyle. I didn't know where they were going to put the campaign, and
so you did that in America?
I did that in like June.
Okay.
And I knew it was going to come out in November, but I just didn't know like how big it was going to be. And I heard that they have like some pictures and posters in Chicago. Yeah. But everyone's been like, not everyone, but people have been hitting me up, showing me how it's in Berlin and it's in London in the tube. In the tube.
I love your accent.
So I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I like, ever since I was little, I loved Air Force Ones. Like I would beg my mom to get me like the Valentine's Day edition and the pink and white shoes. So doing the shoot was really cool because I love those shoes. So yeah, it was a really good, fun opportunity, and especially just to work alongside these other really talented women. It was a very inspiring experience.
Good Morning is now 6 months old, which is kind of crazy to think about. How did that song come together? Because it's produced by the legendary Jamma Dee, isn't it?
Yes. So Jamma Dee and I have known each other for quite a while now. He also produced this song called Take It Easy that I made with him and ASAP P.
Oh, I remember.
And yes, that song, I just came across it on SoundCloud. Some of like my most favorite beats, I guess, like the best. And even like I have this little, it's a very short like kind of interlude, but it's called I Want You, and it's produced by this guy Smuv.
Oh, he's
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know where he's from. Where he's from.
Yeah.
Is he from Berlin?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wish I had his number. I want to hit him up and invite him to the show. But anyways, I found that Good Morning beat off of Jamma Dee's SoundCloud. And I was just like, oh my God, I love this. I love the saxophone so much. And just like,
it just adds a whole another
dimension.
Especially for that era, that kind of like era that he's kind of producing in, that 80s vibe.
It's my favorite. No, you're good. No. So when I heard that, I guess I kind of do what I always do, which was just freestyle over the beat. Yeah. And for some reason, I heard like Usher's Nice and Slow melody, like lyrics, just like kind of flow out of me. And so I would kind of just put my own twist to it. And that's how the hook kind of came about. Or no, not the hook. Oh yeah, the hook and the verse, yeah. So that's how that kind of came together. And I was doing it in this back house that I used to live with this woman in Culver City, and she had this back house where I could just kind of be as loud as I want and make music. So I was just working on that song for kind of a while. It took me a while to work on it, but my friend Ian Cronin helped me finish the song, and it just kind of came together really smoothly after that. And then I grew up listening to a lot of maxi singles because I wanted to, I guess, really hear what is going on with the song. So with maxi singles, you have the acapella, and then you have the instrumental, original, the remix.
Yeah.
And with that, like listening to the acapella, I can really understand the harmonies and what's going on, the ad libs. And then with the instrumental, I can have my own little karaoke session. So
I'm imagining that being in like Japanese karaoke places.
yeah.
Like salarymen just be like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a dream of mine. So, I wanted to be able to create my own maxi single after I had finished that song with Jamma Dee. So then I pitched the idea to some of my favorite producers, Swarvy and Mind Design and Benedek.
Yeah, Benedict.
Yes.
Because they're also homies, aren't they? Jamma Dee and Benedict. They work very closely together.
They do. They travel. I think they perform together or they travel together and do shows. And so, yes, they all put their twist to it, and each one is so unique and just really strong. And I'm really happy, like, how that all came out. And then, we did a vinyl of it, and people seem to be responding really well to it. I performed it in, I've been performing it on tour, and I was in,
Someone's gonna be like,
yeah. So was I in Amsterdam?
oh, in this tour.
No, I was in Belgium, Brussels.
Yeah.
And this guy kept waving his phone to me in the audience, and it was good morning.
Yeah.
He was just like this. It was so cute. So, it makes me really happy that people like it. And, it's one of my favorite songs. It's really like a true definition of like what I really like to make, like that kind of music, that kind of like 80s R&B, and even like Benedict's version, the whole what is it called? I always forget this. It's like a genre of music.
I couldn't define what Benedict makes. It's like
very bouncy.
Yeah.
It's the word. I can't remember what it's called, but it's fine. I shouldn't say this, but I really love Benedict's version.
Okay, I was gonna ask, not necessarily about that because I didn't want to cause any infighting among those guys. But have you heard any other remixes of like that weren't on the maxi single? Because there are plenty. Yes. And is there any that stood out to you?
Yes, definitely. I love, I put the acapella out, and I really did that because I wanted to hear other people's versions, of the song. I think it's really cool to be able to collaborate in that sense with other artists around the world. And I really like this guy, Silent J. He also goes by, Nap King Cole.
Nap King
Cole.
Okay.
And he is from Australia. And he's a part of the group Hiatus Coyote.
Oh, mad.
Yes, and he did his own little remix that's only on his Instagram, I think. He posted an Instagram video of it, and that's how I saw it. Okay. But it's really, really beautiful. It's very, like, low-key, really slow and sweet. Yeah. Very minimal. And then I like J-Rob's version from Selection. His is, like, very hype. Yeah. So upbeat and just I've seen so many choreographies to it, and I think that's really cool. And who else's remix do I like? There was another one. Slom from South Korea. Yeah. His remix is really nice too.
Yeah, have you met him? Because he's quite affiliated with a lot of guys that end up going out there into like cake shop and stuff in Seoul.
Yes, I met him when I performed in Korea this year. Cool. And He's so sweet. He also was in LA recently. He's been working with my friend Kiefer a lot. Yeah.
Really?
So it's really exciting to hear what they're cooking up.
I need to hear that as well. Yeah, so you're really into dancing as well, right? Like you have backup dancers with you on your tours and you do a lot of dancing while you sing. Was it a challenge to learn to dance and sing at the same time, or did it just kind of come naturally from doing that from childhood or out of the womb into adulthood?
So the only time I was able to have dancers were in my LA show and my San Diego show.
Okay.
I really want to be able to bring dancers on tour. But that's it's gonna come. The time will come. Speaking that into existence. But it wasn't it's difficult for sure. Like controlling my breathing and having, stamina, all of that. Yeah. It's very difficult, but it wasn't, I would say that it wasn't that bad because I don't know, as a little girl, I just loved dancing and I loved singing, and I feel like doing the choreography, it's times 10 of what I do on stage, which is kind of just groove out or whatever. Yeah, So overall, like I really like to move and feel the music. And I grew up doing choreography. So when I was in high school, I was like, that's all I did. I wasn't even really into music, like recording and singing at that time. Yeah. I was more so into choreography. Yeah. So I was a part of a lot of dance teams and we would go to all these competitions. So in that sense, it was kind of natural for me. And I love it. I want to bring it back. And I've always loved like watching Aaliyah and Missy Elliott and even like NSYNC and Britney Spears, like all those artists, like that was incorporated into their shows. And I feel like in the 90s and of course like before that, shows were like big, like they would go all out. And so showmanship was such a yes, exactly. So I grew up like watching that and admiring that. So for my first show, I really wanted to do that. Yeah.
If you had to define Joyce Wrice or you or your music, let's say, using one song inside or outside of your own discography, what would it be?
Inside or outside? Yeah, meaning it could be someone else's music? Yeah. Okay. I love Brandy, I Want to Be Down. Yeah. I feel like that is just, I love that so much. And whenever my friends hear it, they're like, Joyce, it's your song. Like everyone knows. So I guess that would really, I guess you said define Joyce Wrice. Yeah. And you like a lot of inspiration. Yeah. Like a lot of, I am I guess like whatever comes out of me when I'm writing or recording or doing melodies, it's all coming from what I've admired, like growing up, who I've admired growing up, and what, yeah, exactly, like what has really inspired me. So it's just, that's what it is. And so, like what, as for my own personal discography, I would say Good Morning is definitely a true reflection of me. And then I also really love Home Alone too. Home Alone is my favorite. Yeah. So emotional. Yeah, so those songs.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm flying around with these questions. So you started out kind of doing covers on YouTube, didn't you? Yeah, there was a day when I was listening to Rain or Shine by Dom Kennedy and it said featuring Joyce, and I made the connection. I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually Joyce Wrice singing the hook on this, and like it sounds amazing. Do you have like a favorite song from that era of Joyce Wrice, or like a favorite feature that you've done?
So I've worked with Dom Kennedy, Polyester, and I guess one song, I I wouldn't say like it's something I really like. Like I like that song.
Okay.
But the most like memorable experience would be the song I did with Dom Kennedy and Too Short.
Which one's that?
So it doesn't say featuring Joyce Wrice.
Okay.
But at the end I'm singing "Girl We Just Bonin'." Girl, we just bonin'. So for me, every time I hear that, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I was singing that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like, I love Too Short. And I love like those kinds of songs that are probably like really extreme.
Yeah. Semi-risque.
But I'll never forget. It was like me, Dom, Iman Omari, Rick from THC, and like a bunch of, I think, the Overdose group, the members. And yeah, they were just like, oh, how about this? And then I just sang that line again. And it's a fun song. So that one, I'm like, I'll never forget it. Like, I just love that. Yeah. And then to be like featured with Too Short is really cool.
Yeah.
But I guess my favorite, I really like the Polyester song I did for his project. And I think it's called We Go. And it's with Casey Veggies.
I love like his old stuff. Like he has a song with Freddie Gibbs.
And Dom Kennedy.
Yeah.
I love that song.
This is for the Hustlers.
Oh no, I don't know that one. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah. All the Way Gone.
Oh yeah, All the Way Gone.
Okay.
He's all I ever wanted.
With, Freddie and Dom.
Menace to Society.
Oh my gosh, that's a tune.
That's a really good song.
Cold Day in Hell, that's it.
This song is so good.
Yeah.
I really love this song.
Yeah. It's a vibe.
You should play this every day on repeat, and I'm like, okay, good.
He's like my favorite rapper. Like.
I love this song.
It's just those chords like this.
Yeah, Polly.
That like leads in.
And I love his voice too. I really like Freddie Gibbs' voice. He's very sexy to me.
I did like a 2-hour mix of his music like back in 2014 because he's like one of my favorites. Yeah, so who would you say are some of the lesser known people involved in getting you to where you are now in your life and career? So just like shout outs to
who are the lesser known people that have contributed to my career?
Or that have been instrumental in Joyce Wrice.
Polyester the Saint.
Yeah. Shout out to Polyester, man.
Dom Kennedy. Chasen Drite. Ariel Publico. And I was gonna say, Sir, definitely Sir. And his brother, D Smoke, Tiffany Goucher. Yeah, those are a lot of people who I guess maybe some people don't know that I've worked with and that really contributed to like the beginning of like when I didn't have management and when I was just in LA when I was in college and just trying to meet people. And also like Sean G. And then I met my friend Todd.
Who's Sean G?
DJ. Sorry, my bad. Sean G is a DJ.
Yeah.
In LA, who used to DJ Sean G, who he used to be like the DJ for Pactive.
Oh, okay.
And Drew Bird too.
Twitter, I think.
Okay, yeah.
And even back then, I was like, I'm Sean G. No, cool.
So, yeah, those are some people. And then, but now I have amazing management like Jasmine, who's very helpful.
Say hey.
Damn, I didn't get that on video.
And then, what video is this? Cause
I'm just taking all these little videos.
And then like saving them.
Yeah, I'm saving them.
Yeah. I'll post them later.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect. Do you want one shouting out yourself?
No, it's
And then you can like double tap and have it. Be like, your girl.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. Cool. And yeah, what misconceptions would you say people have about you or your music? I love asking that question.
Misconceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing someone, this A&R had asked me, like, or he, like, for example, Good Morning. He was saying, like, oh, when you made that song, like, were you trying to be, like, were you going for this 90s R&B feel? Because it sounds like Aaliyah. And I mean, a lot of people have said that it sounds like Aaliyah, which is a huge compliment for me. But I think maybe a misconception that some people have is that I'm trying to emulate or like I'm trying to do this R&B, 90s R&B sound. And I'm really not trying. I feel like, again, when I'm making these songs, whether it's, you know, me just freestyling over the beat in my own space and then developing it with another writer or producer, it's always just naturally what I feel.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking like, okay, I like 90s R&B and I want to do it like Aaliyah, or, you know, it's just something that just comes out of me. So it's really cool that like people can compare it to like these legendary artists. But I think that also is just because I grew up listening to it and I really was like a nerd with album liner notes and just, again, with the maxi singles, listening to the acapellas and instrumentals. That was like my education, or not my education, but like that's what I was doing every day, all day. Yeah. And when you do anything every day, all day, like Kiefer, who is like an amazing pianist and producer, like nice. Like, you know, like he studied the hell out of doing that. And that's why he is the way he is. And I'm not saying that I'm like this master of like music or anything like that, but that, like, I guess to answer your question about this misconception of me trying to do 90s R&B or be like these artists, it's just what I've really listened to growing up, and so that's maybe why that people could think that.
So what are your plans for 2018, and do you have any upcoming collaborations that you can tell us about?
My plans for 2018, I want to tour more, and I'm working on a new project, and I'm not going to be like too specific just because things change. But yeah, my goal is to go on some more international tours and work on a new project so that I really want to do a US tour for sure. And yeah, collaborate more with my favorite producers and meet more new artists and songwriters, and definitely do a Japanese song, whether it's a little bit or piece. But yeah, those are my goals for now. And I will say, yes, I've been very fortunate to meet a lot more producers and songwriters that I feel truly honored to be able to work with. So that's what I will say are my plans for 2018.
Thank you so much for being part of this interview. Thank you. I don't know what I'm saying now. Thank you so much for giving me your time, and thank you.
Thank you for having me. 本当にありがとうございます。
よろしくね。